Okay, I may be the bad mechanic. Like, subscribe, comment. But you know what? I think I know what's wrong with my damn RL. And I can't find any references to it anywhere. Online, on YouTube, nowhere. So I'm going to show you what that is once I get the part I need. And I'm about 85% sure this is the problem, and it's a stupid little problem, and nobody mentions it. And you know, it's like one of those things where, hey, my car doesn't run. And nobody says, well, does it have gas? That's kind of the same issue, right? Okay, well, did you check and see if it has gas? I mean, this is kind of the same thing. Did you check and see if this thing is? So anyway, I know what the problem is. Like I said, about 85%. We'll see. Okay, so this is the problem. I'm about 85% sure. This is that's cap for the coolant reservoir. I've noticed that there's been antifreeze around that. And I actually put some silicone tape on it tonight, but it didn't seem to help. But see, I think this thing is so loose, moves around, and the coolant comes right up through that little gap there, which is letting air in, and is also letting my coolant reservoir fill up, but not put it back in because there's no tight seal on the coolant system, and it has to be a air-free system. So it's letting air in through the coolant tank. Now I don't know, maybe I could push that up, but I noticed today, even when I was out there playing with it, and then so I go to take this thing off tonight. I'll show you something. See all that snow? It's been snowing all day. You see it better that way. And when I went to take it off, I put the cap in my pocket. You can see it's clear. And then I went to pull my keys out of my pocket to open the door on my other vehicle to get my glue. And of course, this thing, not the little deal, but this cap fell out on the ground. Had no idea I got back in, it wasn't there. So I had to go dig around for that. I'm just kicking myself in the ass. But I found it, so we're going to glue it. For now, I'm going to go pick another one tomorrow, I think. But for now, I'm going to glue it together so that it doesn't let air in. And then I might put some silicone down here too, just to seal it up real good. Put the hose back on, put it back on the coolant system, and hopefully that'll solve the issue. Now, one of the things that pisses me off is that I've known this thing's been leaking a little bit for forever, and the coolant hasn't been going back in. And everybody says, "Oh, it's your radiator cap." I look it up. Oh, your radiator cap. Nobody says coolant cap, and that's annoying because come on, man, that's like, oh, you can't start your car. Did you look to see if it has gas? Well, you can't get your coolant system to seal. Did you look to see if your coolant cap was any good? No, I never even thought about that until just now. But so I've been dealing with this thing for what, a month? And it's a stupid coolant cap, I think. So I'll let you know if that's what it is. Probably tomorrow. Well, actually in like a couple seconds. Bad mechanic. Like, subscribe, comment. So I just wanted to show you. I'm just going to set this right here. See, I put some Gorilla Glue around it, like that. Now, I'm going to wipe it off with a paper towel, very scientific part of a paper towel. And just don't get any in the tube, but wipe it on there real good so that you seal it off. So I'm going to kind of wipe it all over the cap, and I'll show you in a second here what that looks like. There you go. It's pretty much wiped all the way around it now. Now that'll seal up tonight, and then tomorrow I'll probably go in and put some in around there. I may go look for, I know I have some silicone around, so, but for now, that is going to do the trick. It's pretty good, I think. And then by tomorrow it shouldn't move, but I just got to make sure it's airtight, because obviously that's what we've been dealing with for a month. I'm so pissed. It takes so long figure this out, and I think that's it. And let's hope. Let's hope that's it. It'd be nice to be able to drive this car, actually use this car. You can't use it much, and it overheats all the time. So, anyway, that's it for now. Okay, I said I wasn't coming back to this shit tonight, but I want to set this up somewhere where you can see. So, I thought my Gorilla Glue worked on friggin' everything, but apparently Gorilla Glue doesn't work on plastic. So we got this shoe glue. I have some other glue. I have some some like that JB Weld and stuff like that in the garage, I think. But I'm gonna try this shoe glue, and we'll see if maybe that does the trick. I'm gonna put some here, and then I'm gonna put some on here. I don't know. I probably should have taken the other freaking glue off. But who knows, man? It's just, this is a comedy of errors. That's why I'm a bad mechanic. Okay, we're gonna try that. So, some shoe glue, and I would think shoe glue would hold on plastic because, well, heck, they like to use plastic in making shoes, don't they? All right, so that's it. I don't want to touch the camera because I'm afraid that if I touch it, if I touch it, that I'll get glue on the camera, which, obviously looking at my camera, it's not the greatest. It's a Hero 3, actually. It's old. Had that camera like 10 years. Had to get batteries. Batteries went dead. So anyway, we'll see if that holds up. I'll let you know tomorrow. I think it is already setting up. Let's see. Oh, well. It still turns, but I don't know. We'll give it a little bit. All right. I've also realized that when I hold the camera way down like that, I look like I weigh about 500 pounds, which, nothing wrong with that. Oh, geez. Weighing 500 pounds, well, actually, it just shows that you got a real healthy appetite. So, I showed you that I glued that thing together with shoe glue. I don't know how good shoe glue does with heat and moisture, but I've been driving the car around this morning, so let's go out and take a look and see if the coolant was high and it'll overflow again. I want to go and see if it's going down since the car cooled off a little bit, because that would indicate that that closed system is closed. I'm still pissed though that, that simple obvious thing, like the overflow cap, which I still believe is the issue, even if this isn't working. And nobody ever mentions it. Nobody mentions the overflow cap at all. So, let's just take a look here, because it was high. The overflow tank. I want to see if it's gone down. And let's see, it still looks, well, let's see if the hood will stay up. Yeah, it's, well, I don't know actually. Yeah, it looks, it's high. It's still up to like here, right there, which, I don't know, I just shut the car off, so, but it was running really good, and the thermostat was blowing hot air, so I'm real hopeful. I'm about 95% sure that that's what's been going on with this thing. I haven't talked to a mechanic. I said, look, the overflow tank's filling up, it's not going back, and the radiator cap, even after I don't run it a day, it's got pressure in there, and he's like, well, you gotta change the radiator cap. He didn't say anything about the overflow tank. But it makes sense, because here's the logic behind it. So if the car has radiator fluid up to the top of the radiator, right? It's cold. And you put the cap on, your overflow has radiator fluid up to between the minimum and maximum level. So, and then you drive the car, what happens is the coolant gets hot, expands, it goes into the overflow. And then as the car cools off, if you shut it off or whatever, that overflow then will suck back into the radiator. Because if it doesn't, the radiator then is low, because that, I don't know, what would you think, probably 32 ounces of radiator fluid is now sitting in the overflow and not in the radiator where it's supposed to be. So therefore, you would have a car with a low radiator, which then the heat gauge goes, I don't know why it did that, but that's just kind of my symptom. But I'll let you know. We'll see how this works today. I might go pull another overflow at the junkyard anyway, just because I don't know how good shoe glue does for so many things. But hey, I tried the construction adhesive and that did nothing. I know you can get plastic glue. I got glue, so I'm just trying to get by with what I got. So we'll see what happens. I'll let you know. All right, let the car cool down enough. I think enough. I don't know. They don't tell you how long you need to let the car cool down before the coolant's supposed to go back into the radiator from the overflow. But it didn't. It was still way high. So I put some more shoe glue on it and dumped the coolant reservoir coolant back into the radiator. Filled that up. Got the coolant down to, I think it's at the max line now. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna pick that other one because I just don't know what the hell is up with this thing, but I know that's the problem. I know that for a fact now. I mean, I've had enough time diagnosing this thing to figure out that, even if I'm the bad mechanic. Look, subscribe, comment. Yeah, man. All right, so my little experiment with gluing the coolant reservoir cap with shoe glue. What else did I got? A gasket for it. Did not work because the thing did the same thing to me yesterday that's been doing, which is yo-yoing heat, filling up the reservoir, and put this up because I don't want to look like I'm 900 pounds. I mean, I'm a little fat, I'm a little overweight, but I'm not bad overweight. I'm the top 10%. I'm not overweight, guys, for my age. All right, so I went to the junkyard today and I picked, this is a 99 Acura RL, and the cap is pretty much the same thing as the ones on the MDXs. So I had two 2004 MDXs. One of them had I actually had a 2006 too. The one had a really nice looking cap on it, so I picked that one. I picked another one. They cost me, I think, $2.15 a piece. So we're gonna go out. We're gonna rebleed this system. We're gonna do all the shit over again. And Lord, please help me. So that's what we're gonna do right now. All right. So you see, there's still snow on the ground. It actually snowed yesterday. Actually, it snowed this morning. Yesterday was pretty nice. It snowed again last night and this morning. I was joking with one of my neighbors. It's like, man, you can't keep the snow from piling up because it just snows every damn day. Come on, I know this is unlocked. There we go. So we got the 1950s or 1880s hood strut. I went through this morning and I put the coolant back into the radiator, I think. So I gotta double check that. The hood struts I picked at the junkyard actually should work, but the colder it is, the worse they are. So they're not perfect. I could order some on eBay for, I think they're 20 some bucks, but it doesn't come down so hard that it's gonna smack you in the head anymore. Okay, so let's see. Get that guy off. Yeah, it looks like our coolant level's good. Why is my overflow still full? All right, well, so we're gonna start with, I guess, put this peckerwood on there. Bunk. This is my rental bleed funnel. I rented from Harbor Freight. I gotta bring it back pretty soon, otherwise I'm not gonna take it back. So say, you only got this long to return it. I think I've had it for 2 weeks now. I've been working on this damn car for like a month. Finally got the plates on it today. I went to the DMV. Oh my God, they're incompetent. I'm just saying that because I was in there and they're incompetent. So I'll get the antifreeze. I don't have much left of this now because I've been dumping in this car. It's not going through antifreeze, but it leaks it out of here. So, that sucks. So first we're going to take the overflow. I'm going to get this guy out of the way. I'm going to take a new hose. make sure this thing's down enough so you can see what the hell I'm doing. I think that's probably good right there. I had a little trouble getting this thing in there last night, getting it back in its deal, and I think it's stuck now. Probably melted down. Who knows? This is my last attempt at this. If this doesn't work, it's going to mechanic. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Bubble, bubble, bubble. You know what I gotta do? I think I need to, well, I don't know. Just keep dumping this in. As long as it doesn't come out that overflow hose, I guess it's no big deal, right? And I'm wondering if this is why the coolant stays bubbling so long, because that's an obvious sign of a head gasket. But see, look at this shit. It's just gonna take all this. That's getting close now, I think. Now, I was at my buddy's yesterday, and man, he could not get off the fan. Oh, it's the fan, it's the fan, it's the fan. Well, it might be the fan too, but look at, like we talked about this the other night, if you're going, the coolant is going into the overflow and not going back into the radiator, that means the radiator's low on coolant, which would make the thing heat up. It's supposed to suck it back in, but this car, hell no, ain't sucking shit back in. I still got to put more in. Man, it's taking a lot. So, I hope we don't run out, because I got another thing of it, but of course Walmart was out of distilled water. That looks, that's about it right there, good. Okay, now I'll put some of that in here. Okay, yeah, she's right above minimum, which is where I want it. Okay, now we're gonna go grab our new caps, which are in this car. I don't know if this is locked. Of course it is. She locked. No, let's just grab one of them. So these are my new caps. Where's my old cap? This is my old cap right here. See how much glue and shit's on there? I don't know. I don't. It doesn't seem like it's any different. There may be a hole in the hose, so I grabbed the hoses too. This is a little longer, and I don't know if that's going to impact anything. We're going to put it on just as is and see what happens. Because I know one thing is this cap. I have an O-ring on it now. You can see the O-ring on the overflow, and I put that on there to hopefully stymie the leaks a little bit, because it was leaking at the cap. And I don't know if that's just because it wasn't tight or if it was what the deal is exactly. Okay, this guy's actually in a different spot, but that's okay. I don't even know if it's the right length. It's not long enough. Shit. It's close. Could run it over the battery like this. Yeah, so it'll reach. I think it'll reach. So I think I'm going to do that, because it could be this hose that's leaking too, and shit. I gotta put the little plunger in there. I gotta go get it. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. So, gotta put the plunger in. And boonk. Okay, pull this guy out. There you go. Put him down in the snow here for a minute. Now, we gotta pull this guy off. There you go. He came right off. That's probably not good. This thing's pretty tight. But we'll see if maybe we can get it. Because I might as well change the hose too, because maybe it's the hose, I don't know. And then maybe it's none of it. It's tighter than shit, but for now, that'll do big. That'll do. Okay, that's down. Okay, so now we take this dude off. Dooba-dooba-doo. Okay. Now I'm going to bleed the system again, because basically, I don't know with the overflow getting full like that. Oh, what am I doing, you dumbass? The overflow getting full, that means the radiator's low as they're building up air in it again. And then also, because this thing produces so much air when it's running and it never stops, it's bubble, bubble, bubble. I wanted to see if maybe that was also caused by this overflow tank not sealing up properly. So, we start the car. Got a few bubbles. Some bubble, toil in trouble. Okay, start her up. If it starts. Thing's so screwy. Last night I drove it for about 10 minutes, and the stinking, all it did was freaking get hot and stayed hot, and it went down a little bit and it would get hot again. I pulled in this gas station, it was blowing cold air, and then after I got in the gas station I turned it off and I started it back up, and then it ran fine for like 20 minutes on the way home. No heat problems, no nothing. So it's got antifreeze all over me. Now! Fans are not going, but just started the car. And this hose is just not right, but it still may give me a better idea what's going on. I'm hoping. I'll come back. I forgot to do the bleed screw again, but you know what? Tough titty. I'm not doing it. I gotta take that cover off. I'm not doing that. Anyway, this is what she's doing now. It seems better, but it's only been running for a few minutes, so we're gonna give it a little time. Keep an eye on the overflow. Keep it on heat. I don't know if these systems on these Acuras are just impossible to get bubbles out of them or what, but damn, bubbles a lot. The problem with an issue like what I have is that the thing runs great for an hour. Heat gauge sits just stone solid right where it's supposed to. And then after that hour, that overflow is over the max, and the thing just starts jumping all over. It'll go up, take 5-6 seconds to go up, and they'll sit there for 2-3 seconds. Normal, this is the normal thing. It'll sit for 2-3 seconds, and it'll go right back down. I see a lot less bubbles. Hardly any bubbles, actually. I don't understand this hose here. I don't understand why there's never any. That's got to be a hose that goes. I'm trying to think. The thermostat's there. So when that thermostat gets hot, it lets the air out, lets the water, cooling out. The thermostat's down below. The hose below. It lets the coolant out. This thing goes into the radiator. And then this hose must flush the coolant back into the engine. This guy, when it gets hot. It seems like it's starting to warm up a little bit now. It's not bubbling much, man. That's telling me that cap is a lot better than the old one. It's tight. But there was, like, every time I'd look in there, there'd be coolant in here, and it's coming out at the cap, which is why I put the shoe glue on it. That didn't do it. But it's not bubbling anymore, and that's pretty inspiring, actually. I mean, I told you, I was 95% sure that that's what the problem was the coolant overflow cap. Or hose. I think it's the cap. I don't think it's the hose. I think probably throw that hose back on there, but now I got this one hooked up. I'm going to leave it. Look, there's no bubbling. Nothing. Man, I have never seen it do that where there's no bubbles. Alright, so let's see what our temp is. Well, we're still very cool. We'll rev it up a little bit. We'll get a little more coolant up in that funnel. It's idling real nice, which I like. Me like it. Me like it, the nice idle. It's not sitting there going vroom, vroom, vroom. It's not bubbling, man. That is really, well, it's bubbling a little now, but I think that might be just pushing air out of the system. I don't know, we're gonna let the heat get up. It's blowing hot in the car, so the next thing after this, if it keeps happening, I'm gonna have to start checking the fan, I guess. You know, it doesn't make any sense. If it fills up with antifreeze, the coolant overflow, and it doesn't go back in, that would make sense. It would overheat because the thing's low. So we're starting to get back up to normal temp now. All right, battery went dead. Hey, like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Tell me what the hell's wrong with this stupid car. I'm freaking annoyed. It is really annoying. It's been like a month I've been working on this thing now. Well, let's see what the coolant looks like. The level's good. Heat gauge is good. I'm just gonna let it run for a while, I think. Overflow is not doing anything. Man, that hose is really tight. But, I mean, it should be fine. Still bubbling. Not much, though. Yeah, not anything like it was. Let's see what's hot. No, it's not really hot, even. I mean, it's kind of hot. Not really hot. Let's see where our heat gauge is. Can you see it? Can you see it? It's normal. That's normal operating temp. I'd like to see if I can get the fans to run. I'll be back. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. The thing was bubbling. I mean, not a lot, but a little bit. So look at it. I went and I revved it up. I got a little under 2,000 RPMs. Heat gauge is staying fine. See that? Extreme close up. 2,000 RPMs. And then I don't know if you can see that, but there's no bubbles. Well, there was just one, but there hasn't been any bubbles coming through it. So, not sure what that means. Dun dun dun! I don't know. This car's a mystery. I mean, coolant systems are a mystery to me, but I think I'm getting a little better at it, but man, I don't know. It's just so weird. I figured if I revved it up, it would bubble more, but it's not bubbling at all, so I don't know. Yeah, it's happening. Well, actually, I don't know what's happening. Oh, douchebag that's fucking renting the place behind me. There's a tin dick fuck. But look at my coolant. Can you see it out there bubbling away? Bubbling away. The heat gauge is still good, and it went down some, but it doesn't seem for the amount of bubbles that it's going down enough, because it's just bubbling like crazy now. It might be boiling. I don't know. I guess with that cap on there, maybe you don't get it. Well, I mean, the air escaping through the pressure escaping through the into the funnel. But I've never seen anybody that's done this that had a bunch of bubbles coming up, unless they had a head gasket issue. So the more we go forward, the more we don't go anywhere and actually backwards, and who knows. So look at it. If this doesn't work, I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to close everything off, and if it does it again, I'm taking it to the shop and I'll do a follow-up.